The gym was almost empty when Lily arrived. It was the end of the day, and the fluorescent lights flickered intermittently, casting eerie shadows across the gleaming machines. The usual hum of activity was replaced by a heavy silence that pressed against her ears. Lily wiped her hands on her towel and approached the squat rack. She felt a twinge of unease but dismissed it as fatigue. The workout had to be done, and she had a competition coming up. She loaded the barbell and positioned herself under the cold steel, exhaling deeply. As she pushed through her first set, she heard a faint whisper. She paused, glancing around. There was no one. Shaking her head, she continued, but the whisper grew louder, more insistent, like a breath against her ear. It was a low, raspy voice, unintelligible but unmistakable. She racked the barbell and stepped back, her pulse quickening. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice echoing through the cavernous space. No answer. The whisper ceased, replaced by the steady thump of her heart. Determined to finish, Lily moved to the leg press machine. She loaded the plates, and as she began her set, the whisper returned, clearer this time. Lily. Her name, spoken in a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. She jolted, nearly dropping the weight. Her eyes darted around the gym, searching for the source. The mirrors lining the walls reflected an empty room, but as she stared, she noticed something unusual. In the mirror behind her, a dark figure stood near the treadmills, its form distorted and wavering. A cold dread washed over her. She spun around, but the figure was gone. Heart pounding, she turned back to the mirror. The figure was still there, closer now, its features obscured by shadow. She backed away, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She grabbed her towel and phone, ready to leave, but a sudden cold grip on her wrist stopped her. She looked down to see a pale skeletal hand clutching her tightly. She screamed, yanking her arm free and stumbling backward. The hand vanished as quickly as it had appeared. The lights flickered more violently, plunging the gym into momentary darkness. When they came back on, the figure from the mirror stood before her, its hollow eyes boring into hers. It reached out, its mouth opening in a silent scream. Lily bolted for the exit, her footsteps echoing in the deserted gym. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of voices all chanting her name. She slammed into the door, but it wouldn't budge. She was trapped. Desperate, she turned to face the figure. It loomed over her, its face a twisted mask of agony. "What do you want?" she cried, her voice trembling. The figure raised a bony finger, pointing to the squat rack. Lily's blood ran cold as she understood. She had been careless, ignoring the strange accidents that had plagued the gym. The whispers, the shadowy figures. She had dismissed them all, but now she was forced to confront the truth. Years ago, a woman had died here in a tragic accident, crushed under a barbell. The gym had tried to cover it up, but her restless spirit remained, seeking revenge on those who ignored her plight. The figure advanced, and Lily felt an icy hand close around her throat. As darkness closed in, the whispers became a deafening roar. She had become another victim of the gym's sinister secret, her fate sealed by her own negligence. The next morning, the gym opened as usual. The staff found Lily's lifeless body near the squat rack, her face twisted in terror. They called the authorities, who ruled it a tragic accident. But those who knew the gym's history whispered among themselves, the legend of the vengeful spirit growing with each retelling. And so, the gym remained, a place of sweat, determination, and an unshakable sense of dread, where the echoes of the past mingled with the living, and the whispers of the dead never truly faded away.